Welcome to the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast with intuitive lightworker, national speaker, metaphysical teacher, and best-selling author Lisa Kessler. What is it you want to manifest? Are you looking to increase your income, change careers? Maybe you want to manifest a new home or a new car. Are you ready to bring love into your life? You have come to the right place.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening in today. I'm really glad you're here because I wanted to talk about reflecting, taking time to look back and see how far you have come. So you may have noticed that I missed a couple podcasts because COVID decided to finally hit our house after 4 years of avoiding it. It came and visited, and it forced me to slow down. So January 1st rolled around and man, I was hitting the ground running. I had all these big goals. I'm finishing up a book for my publisher for the Practical Tarot deck and Practical Tarot method of learning to read tarot intuitively. And I had all these big goals for January. Oh my gosh, get it all done. But the universe had a different plan. And I was forced to really slow down. And in doing so, I took one entire day and I didn't do any work. And it wasn't only because I felt bad, but also it kind of forced me to sit down and breathe and look at where was I last January compared to where I am this January? Of course, I was sick, but I'm looking at, the big picture. So when I look back, January 2023, my Kickstarter hadn't even funded yet. So I wasn't even sure I was going to get to make the Practical Tarot deck. What? I also had not signed a contract with a nonfiction publisher. In fact, the same publisher who did The Secret. What? I never could have dreamed these things were going to happen. In January of 2023, I had just started thinking, maybe this is the year that we should buy a house here in Florida. And I told Ken, maybe we should start going to open houses just to find out what's out there. So in January of last year, we went to one. And while we were there, the realtor gave us this information on first-time home buyer down payment assistance. And I thought, what? So all of these things were happening January of last year. Fast forward to the present, we already live in our house. So that happened. The Practical Tarot deck is completely, all the artwork is done. I finished the guidebook. Now I'm working on finishing the Practical Tarot book about reading tarot intuitively. And all of these things, I look back when I sat there that day and looked back on January 2023 versus January 2024, suddenly I realized how far I had come, because what typically happens is we race from dream to dream to dream. I always tell my manifesting clients who are, they just are manifesting amazing things bigger than what they thought was possible at the beginning. But the thing about manifesting is we're never done. We never cross a finish line and go, now I'm going to stay right here forever, because the world's always changing around us. And every time you meet a goal or you complete a dream, it opens a door of opportunity to the next one. And it's something even bigger that you never would have contemplated even wishing for. So if you never take time to reflect, you never really get to build up that gratitude for how far I have come. And there is value in that, my friends. It is not, you don't want to live in nostalgia. That's not what I'm suggesting. But if you took one day out of each month, maybe not even a day, let's say 3 hours out of each month, and you thought about where was I this month last year? What about 2 years ago? And kind of do a temperature check of what were things like back then. Because I guarantee you, when you look at where you are today, even if maybe you were having a bad day, you can look back and go, wow, I have come a long way. And let's talk about, what if the year before had been a rough year and you look back and you reflect back and you go, oh my gosh, I was dealing with anxiety, all this stuff. Well, then you can go, okay, look how far my health has come. Look how far my mental health has come. What if what you're living now is that anxiety, right? Maybe right now you are going through a hard time. Maybe you've experienced a loss. You can look back at the January before and take from that hope, because you can look back and go, okay, this is who I really am. I'm going to get through this and I'm going to get back to who I really am. Do you see how that works? So taking some time to reflect can really help you to ground yourself, to build up hope, and also to recognize how far you have come. And again, if you're struggling right now as you're listening to this podcast and you look back and you go, oh, I wish I could go back in time to then, instead, turn it around to be, that's who I am. That's who I am. This anxious, worried person that I was today before I started reflecting back, this is not who I am. I'm going to raise my vibration and get back to that person who knew she could do it, right? So I hope that gives you, some insight maybe into reflection time, because it's really important. And if you're not a journaler, I have a couple of clients who are like, oh, I'm not going to sit down and journal. I just can't. And that's fine. So here's something you can do if you're not a big time journaler. Start a spreadsheet. And what I do sometimes, because sometimes I have a hard time remembering, life is a blur, right? And you go, oh my gosh, what was I doing then? Open your Google Calendar or whatever calendar you use on your phone. Look back and you'll see dates on there. You'll see appointments you had, and that will start bringing things back for you. And find the highlights from that month and put them in a spreadsheet. Then every January, you can look back and go, oh, January 2 years ago, oh, January last year, and it gives you, again, that gauge so that you can see how far you have come. So use a spreadsheet if you're not a journaler. Totally counts, but take the time to do it, because I guarantee you are not giving yourself the pat on the back that you deserve, because you have come so far. And the thing is, we dream about, achieving our dreams. We dream about it so much, but oftentimes once we get there, we don't appreciate it because we're already racing after the next one. So take this as permission to have a breathing day where once a month you just reflect back, see where I was, and enjoy the present. Be present. Give that to yourself as a gift. For one day a month, I am not going to be working on what I need to do for the next project. I am not going to be visualizing what my future self will be. Just for one day, be present and enjoy it. Tell yourself, I am so glad that this is where I am, right? Even if it's not quite where you want to be in the end, be present and appreciate how far you've come, because manifesting is a marathon, not a sprint. All right? Thanks so much for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast with Lisa Kessler. If you have questions or comments, or if you'd like to work with Lisa to manifest your dreams, you can connect with her through her website at metaphysicalmanifesting.net. That's also where you can claim your free weekly tarot reading and manifesting tips. Make sure you subscribe or follow the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast on your favorite podcasting site so you never miss another episode. As Lisa likes to say, we can make magic when we bring the universe into the equation. Remember, you don't have to do it alone. If you'd like more information about Lisa, Metaphysical Manifestation Mentorship, or the Manifesting Magic Mastermind, visit her website at metaphysicalmanifesting.net.